What is up, folks? Let me know if audio is working correctly. Let me know if you can hear me. Let's see. Let me post this in a few places and I'll get started. Nice, nice. Is audio working fine? I know last time it was too quiet. Okay, sounds good. One sec. Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to my farm. Welcome to my farm. Got some tractors, got some rakes, got some fresh crops. Let's get started. So, as with my last live stream, I'm just gonna in the first 10 or 15 minutes, just go over everything I have in my agenda. And I'm not gonna look at the chat in the meantime, or I'll try not to. And after I go over whatever I have to talk about, then I'll look at the chat, answer some questions. But I'll be prioritizing these questions because last time, like 90% of the questions were like people asking me about like these like random farms, like things with like no substance. So I kind of just, not this tab. I kind of sourced like 20 questions that I thought were good questions, and then I'll prioritize this and then I'll look at the chat. But yeah, let's get started. So obviously some first housekeeping items. Thank you everyone for 30,000 subscribers. It feels like, I think 6 weeks ago I had like 3K subs, and then I just started like farming like a degen on Matic, and now like I 10x my subscriber list, and very grateful. I hope that my video has been helpful. You know, it's definitely motivating, and I definitely want to keep providing like free content in the future. And speaking of free content, I'm working on this free guide to yield farming. I'm probably going to publicize this or make this public on Monday or Tuesday. But essentially, this is like more targeting newbies or like people newer to yield farming, but like an introduction to how to yield farm on Polybunny Matic. One sec. Yeah. Introduction how to yield farm on Matic. Got some memes in here. You know, I had a friend make some memes, some good old memes, and I'll make this public, and hopefully I can introduce more people to the power of yield farming with dollars. Second item is I was recently on Benjamin Cohen's channel. This video here right now is 55,000 subs. Introduction to DeFi and yield farming. This video was also targeting more of the newbies and the beginners. I thought it was a good introduction. I thought it was a pretty good video. It's a pretty lengthy one, it's 30 minutes, but I go over like lending and borrowing, like what is DeFi, introduction to like the difference between DeFi and CeFi, what are decentralized exchanges, what's impermanent loss, and then I do a live tutorial on how to yield farm on Aave, Curve, and Sushi. Okay, that being said, all right. I say I'm not looking at the chat, but I keep looking at the chat. But let's just go over like my updates to the portfolio. I haven't made any updates. To be honest, I've been pretty busy making content recently in the past week, so no changes to the portfolio. Still heavily in stable coins, Bitcoin, borrowing against stable assets so I don't get liquidated. I did mention in my like a week ago that I do think we are in a crab market, meaning that I think we just keep ranging in the next few weeks. I could be wrong, but if you think about it, if we're in like a sideways market, which I think there's like let's say like a 50% chance that we're in a sideways market, 25% we go up, 25% chance we go down. The stablecoin farmers are going to outperform like any hodlers within that time period. Yes, you can find coins that will like go up that's decoupled, but in a general sense, I do believe we're in a sideways market, and I do think this is the market condition made for stablecoin farmers. So primarily, I'm just focusing on stablecoins and farming with them. I'm not really participating in degen yield farms because, I mean, majority of the market participants lost like 50% of their net worth. And at that point, like, I don't think there's risk appetite for degen yield farms. So still farming on DeFi. I don't even know what APR I'm earning. Okay, I'm earning like almost 69%, right? That's a good number. Earning roughly 8 DFIN a day. And I'll answer questions about DFIN later, but you know, my goal is to hit maybe like 150 or 200 DFIN, and then I'll just like stop farming it. And yes, my rewards are locked and I can't claim them, but I think this project could work. I don't want to buy this coin with my own money, so I'm just farming it. Yeah, because if you look at the markets, right? I mean, what have we done since like mid-May? We've just gone sideways, right? And like I said, I do think we are in a crab market, and in this type of environment, I do think stablecoin farmers will outperform. And what if we go down more? Well, stablecoin farmers also outperform because you're mitigating your downside. So yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah. So speaking of which, I want to talk about Arbitrum, because I think Arbitrum, I think Arbitrum is really interesting. And like the majority of the questions that were asked was like, how do you think Arbitrum will affect matic? How do you think Arbitrum will affect like ETH, like the token, etc.? So the quickest way to answer that question is I simply do not know, right? I can't predict the future. I can only look at what happened in the past and try to use those data points to predict what may or may not happen in the future, right? So I suggest everyone like listen to this podcast if you don't even know what Arbitrum is. But I'm not a technical guy, so I can't really explain like how rollups work. But essentially, Arbitrum is a layer 2 solution on Ethereum. Transaction fees will be roughly $2 to $4. We don't know yet. But it's more secure than matic because all the transactions, it's like rolled up, and I guess it inherits this security and decentralization from the Ethereum blockchain. And matic has their own set of validators, so it's not as secure. But I have my own reasons on why I think matic is like safe, and because of like all these DeFi applications, and their team, I think is like very heavily aligned with Ethereum. And I showed this clip in my last live stream, but I just want to play it again because I know there's a lot more newer participants and new subscribers. But Kyle Samani, he's the managing partner at Multicoin Capital. They're one of the most successful VCs, and he said something interesting about how even though Arbitrum is a layer 2, it's a scaling solution, it's not going to be like free transactions like on matic. So let me play it here for like a quick minute. I'll just do this faster a little bit. Yeah, so it will be cheap, right? I mean, compared to like $30 transactions on the Ethereum mainnet, the Ethereum blockchain, $2, $3, $4, that's like a 90% reduction, which is great. But like depending on how much money you have, like that's still really, really expensive, right? So I don't think Arbitrum is bearish matic per se, but I definitely do see some liquidity moving from matic to Arbitrum. And you can see Kane here, the founder of Synthetics, he's deploying SNX to Optimism, and you saw him like nodding his head, right? Like, yeah, like transactions are going to be $2, $3, $4, $5. So I know the title of the video is like the bullish case for Arbitrum, but this is like a potential bearish case for Arbitrum. I mean, I'm not bearish Arbitrum because layer 2 solutions, like Ethereum needs all the scaling it needs. So I do think the future of Ethereum is like it's going to have like tons of scaling solutions, matic, Arbitrum, Optimism, and maybe more. So I'm definitely not bearish Arbitrum, but that's something to keep in mind, right? It's not like the transactions aren't going to be free. Transactions on matic are essentially free. But I do want to go over this video again, and I think in the 20-minute mark, the Arbitrum team said that these DeFi applications like Sushi, Uniswap, Aave, they're ready to launch. But Arbitrum, the team, they're just waiting on the other applications to like deploy their code, because they don't want to like just deploy. They don't want to like just release Sushi and Uniswap and Aave like first, and then like the other ones second. They want to like have a suite of DeFi apps and like release them all together. And I believe they said this was recorded in June 1st, but they said there's gonna wait. It'll take a few more weeks until the mainnet, or the Arbitrum mainnet, is open to the public, right? Meaning that we can use it. And like I guess like when we're living in Ethereum land, a few weeks can mean 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, when I hear a few weeks, I think about like 2 to 4 weeks, but who knows, maybe it gets delayed to like July or August, which would be sad. But, you know, Arbitrum, you can expect it to be live maybe mid to late June. And I'll be really excited because Uniswap, they're going to be on it. SushiSwap, they're going to be on it. Aave, I know, is going to be on it. And I'm sure a lot of apps too. I don't know if Curve is going to be on it. I haven't heard too much about Curve from them, but I do know that Curve is trying to deploy to more scaling solutions. I know they're trying to go on the Phantom as well. So, you know, a lot of these DeFi applications are also going into Arbitrum. So, yeah, I imagine a world where, like, if you're like a whale, like if you're playing with like millions and millions of dollars, for those people might like prefer being on Arbitrum because it's more secure per se. But for like retail investors, I do think matic will still stand the test of time and be a great solution. And I wanted to go over like the mid to late June timeline because for those that don't know, I mean, anyone that's been on matic for the past 6 weeks, I mean, we're ecstatic, right? We're euphoric because we've been able to just farm matic and get paid to do so, paid to lend and borrow. However, this is something that I overlooked initially, but the Polygon, the $40 million liquidity mining program, you see that 0.5% of the supply, right? So $20 million, those will be rewards up until April 14th to June 14th, right? So roughly like 10 days from now, it's gonna end. And from June 14th to April 13th of 2022, that's when the other 20% $20 million gets locked. So in other words, $20 million, right? The bullish case for Arbitrum is that the matic rewards, they're going to go down, right? And coinciding with that schedule, Arbitrum goes live. And in this video as well, everyone said, like, or these two guys said, like, yeah, like these applications, they're gonna introduce liquidity mining programs, right? And when I hear liquidity mining programs, I just think of farming, right? Because liquidity mining essentially means like these applications will pay you to use their platform. So it might be that, you know, after June, like let's say June 15th, it might be that, you know, the best farms are on Arbitrum. And I'm not a Polygon maxi, I'm not a matic maxi. I like to think of myself as a yield maxi. Like I just go where the yield is, and a lot of people like also go to where the yield is. So I can't predict the future, but this is a bullish case for Arbitrum. And lastly, before I move on to the next topic, I just want to go over, like, a lot of people are like, okay, like you're bullish Arbitrum. Like, what does that actually mean? Like, there's no Arbitrum token, so like, how can you actually be bullish Arbitrum? Which is a valid question. I thought there was going to be a token for Arbitrum. It sounds like there won't be. They're going to use ETH as the gas token. But let's go over, let's look at what happened in the past, right? To see, like, okay, if I want to play Arbitrum, what should I put my money in? Okay, so if you think about Binance Marching, this was in early 2021. Yeah, I think Binance Marching launched around like February. I don't know, like somewhere along these lines, right? And I mean, the BNB went from like $30 to 700 in 3 months, right? And a lot of people were saying, like, if like transactions on Binance Smart Chain are so cheap, then why would BNB go up, right? Because there's less demand to purchase a token. Well, this is an example of why, like, that argument is not true. It makes sense, like, intuitively, like, oh, if transactions are cheap, then like why would anyone want the gas token? But this phenomenon where I saw BNB just moon because of Binance Smart Chain is the reason I just went ham into matic in the month of May. Because yes, transactions on matic are cheap. However, Binance Smart Chain showed me that a lot of the value accrues to the gas token, right? BNB. I can't really explain why. Maybe because like a lot of farms will use BNB, and you know, BNB is going to be like, I guess, like the token of the ecosystem. So if you want to express bullishness on the ecosystem, you want to buy BNB. And similarly, like with matic, where's matic? Right here. If you just take, I think it went from like 36 cents to 270, which has been insane. And I think their apps went like live in April, I think, or late April, mid to late April. So yes, like transactions are cheap, so, and you don't really need that much matic. You don't need to buy matic to use the matic ecosystem, right? But you can see that value accrues to the native token. So if I ask myself, like, Okay, so matic, sorry, if Arbitrum, they're not going to have a token. But what is the native token for Arbitrum? It's going to be ETH. So if I want to express my bullishness on ETH, bullishness on, I should purchase ETH because it's going to be the gas token and it's going to accrue value, and value will accrue to the gas token. That's how I'm thinking about it. Obviously, like ETH is not going to go up like 10x, 20x, like this, like 30x, but 2, 3, 4x, possible. Especially because Optimism will also go live, and if they don't have a gas token, then ETH will be their gas token, and then yeah, I think that there is potential for DeFi Summer 2.0 in the year 2021, assuming that these layer 2 solutions actually ship. Oh shoot, am I frozen? Huh, hold on. Lots of freezing. This is unfortunate. Yeah, guys, this is my second live stream, so I apologize for the... Okay. Where did I drop off? Where did I drop off? Did I drop off on the gas token argument? Let's see. The Kyle clip had no sound. Oh, my bad. He essentially said like transactions are going to be like $2 to $5. Okay, keep going. All right. Okay, so yeah, bullish Arbitrum. I'm probably gonna accumulate more ETH in the future. Yeah, so that's gonna conclude, I guess, like the presentation part of the video. I hope that made sense. So in summary, Arbitrum coming live mid to late June. It seems like a bunch of these DeFi blue chips are gonna go live. So like Uniswap, SushiSwap, Aave, right? Those are already big, and it sounds to me that a lot of other applications will go live. And the team said that, you know, these liquidity mining programs, you know, the teams are planning on it, which means there will be farming opportunities. So I guess to people that's like getting into matic right now, I guess like who's like later, like participating in matic later, don't become like a matic maxi, right? I don't think matic is gonna like dump just because Arbitrum goes live. There's gonna be like, if you're like people playing with like smaller like wallets, like will still use matic because transactions are free. But Arbitrum, I think a lot of the whales will use Arbitrum because of like the Ethereum security. And if you're playing around with $1 million, then $2, $3 transactions doesn't really mean much. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that the stream is not lagging, and then I'll do the AMA session. Okay, sounds good. So I got a lot of forum responses. I had 73, so 73 plus 36, that's like 100, over 100 responses. So thank you guys for the questions. Just so like we can get moving, I just kind of filter through like the good and bad questions to make sure that I don't waste too much time, and then I can answer your questions in the chat. So in the future, I think I'm gonna keep doing this, where I'm gonna ask for questions beforehand, because that way I can filter through like all the scams and all the shills, and so people don't like ask me to talk about like random projects. So first question: have I tried farming on the Solana ecosystem? What do you think about Solana? I'm bullish Solana. I think I talked about this in the last live stream, but I guess the bearish case for Solana is that it's going to take a longer time for them to get going, because Ethereum uses a programming language called Solidity, and all of the other like Binance Marching, Matic, Arbitrum, they're all EVM compatible, meaning that like projects can just like copy and paste their code from Ethereum and go onto these other blockchains, these scaling solutions. So it's not going to it's not gonna take them like it'll take them like a week, right, to get live. But with Solana, you can't do that. You can't just copy and paste code. You have to build these apps from scratch. So I think what's gonna end up happening is that Solana will take a longer time to get going, but the quality of the apps will be pretty high. So that's my thoughts. Farming on Solana, it looks pretty good, like on Radium and stuff, but I don't think it really offers me like good stablecoin farming. Like you kind of have to like provide liquidity for two volatile assets, which I'm not a huge fan of. So yeah, next question. Safe yield farms tend to attract more people. Polybunny, it's supposed to launch in like 42 hours, has 50 million TVL. That's crazy. I mean, this is like a bullish case for Matic as well, right? I mean, like this thing is launching in 40 hours and it has 50 million TVL. So how does one make the decision to invest or not invest into such a yield farm? Okay, so I think it's difficult, right? Because it doesn't matter what the TVL is right now. It matters where the TVL will go to in the future. Because if Polybunny, like I have not looked into Polybunny, right? So I can't say like anything good or bad about it, just because I've been too busy like making content. But I mean, 50 million means that like I'm assuming that the developers are very good. Their Telegram is popping, their Twitter game is on point, and their code is not malicious. So if you want to take some use cases or case studies, Polywhale, the first ever yield farm on, it's 50,000. Okay, never mind. Okay, this is bullshit. But anyways, let's say it is 53 million, right? Let's say it is 53 million. It means that a lot of people trust the code. And the case study is that Polywhale reached like 250 million TVL and Polycat reached 250 million TVL. So you can think of, okay, trusted yield farms can reach $250 million in terms of TVL. So if you think about it in that way, there's still a 5x opportunity, assuming that it's 50 mil and not 50K. But if you're like entering a new yield farm which has like 50K like Polybunny, I'm assuming that the developers, I mean, I don't know, but maybe it's not as legit, and not as legit projects, they might hit like 1 million, but they might like taper off. So for me personally, I look at tokenomics to make sure that it's in line. So like if you want to compare tokenomics, like look at Polycat and Polywhale's tokenomics, right? The two most successful yield farms on Polygon, and make sure that whatever this new yield farm is, like, is it close to, or is it like a clone to the tokenomics? That increases the chance that it'll be more successful. Join their Telegram to see if it's active. Sometimes the developers are assholes, right? And you don't really want to partake in that kind of farm because, I mean, if the developers are assholes, like why would you want to put your money there? They're like more likely to rug. Look at their Medium, look at their Twitter, see if they know what they're talking about. Obviously, like these developers are anonymous. It's really going to be hard. But like I mentioned, I'm not really looking into these degen yield farms because the market looks bearish. But let's get into the next question. It'll be a quick one. Will you be farming on Cardano? That's a good joke. That's a good joke. That's a good one. That's a good one. Next question. Okay, so I got interested in Polygon because of my videos. I have 1.5K in like Aave Curve and Sushi, 5% of my portfolio, like an experimental fund. What do you think is the natural next step? So this is what I, like, not financial advice, but this is what I recommend to a lot of people. It's like, you don't have to like just sell all your crypto, go into stable coins and just like start farming, right? That's not, I don't advocate for that. What I advocate for is like, just convert like a small percentage of your portfolio and just experiment with these DeFi protocols, because like, if you're bullish DeFi in the future, I think it's going to provide a lot of alpha to just use these applications to begin with. Because if you understand how Aave works, then you're going to understand how all the future lending and borrowing protocols will work. If you understand how Sushi works, then you'll know like how to use these other decentralized exchanges. So even if, like, let's say you just like don't move your funds around and keep it in these protocols, it'll still be a really valuable experience. Because I guarantee you that like a few years from now, like everyone's going to be talking about DeFi, like Forbes, CNBC, right? It's like how to provide liquidity and whatnot. And you're going to be like, you know what? I already know that shit, right? I'm in this yield farm that's generating me 100% APR or something. So in terms of natural next steps, once you feel comfortable, explore other applications. Like, I'm assuming you're on Polygon. Like, look at other like Polygon farms and Polygon apps. Understand like what they're trying to do and try to farm some, right? You can just only use like $100, right? You don't have to risk your entire portfolio, and just experiment over time. And once you become an expert, then I think in the future, a year from now, new projects will come. They're going to launch tokens. You're going to be like, okay, I see potential in this. And then you're going to start to farm it. And maybe you can farm to accumulate those tokens. That's a long-winded answer, but there's that. Okay, so yeah, so just a quick, I feel like I never really talked about my background, but last year, I was essentially a full-time poker player. I played poker, online poker, because of COVID. And the thing with poker players, the thing with poker players is that like we're very used to variance and volatility and uncertainty. And for American poker players, like 90% of poker sites, or like in the US, online poker is illegal, right? Like 99% of sites. And the only way to deposit to these poker sites was through Bitcoin. So the poker community is naturally like more open to Bitcoin because we understand the use case. And if you look at one of the larger like influencers like Hasu, Fisconti's Light Crypto, etc., like they have a poker background. They were also professional poker players in the past. So I think in the future there's gonna be a lot more poker players that's gonna come into crypto. Oh, Mike McDonald as well. So yeah, used to be a poker player. Now I'm like focusing on crypto more because I do think it's a higher EV play, at least for me right now, given my skill set. Did I ever go to the World Series of Poker? I did. 2019. I got wrecked. I had the worst downswing of my career. I played like 2-5 and 5-10 live. I played the Colossus event, right? The $500 entry with $1 million up top. Busted day one. Yeah, that was not a... That was like... I had my worst downswing. I lost like 6K or something. But obviously, like, after I got wrecked, bought Pio, like, bought some courses, grinded my ass off, and I'm a lot better now. And I might actually go to the World Series of Poker this year, depending on, like, COVID and stuff. If I'm still holding altcoins, would I start converting them to stables? So I'm not going to give financial advice, but me personally, I did sell some of my altcoins. As you saw on my Aave portfolio, like I used to have 10,000 matic, and now I only have like a quarter of that because I did convert them to stablecoins because you know the markets are volatile. I'm still like relatively exposed to crypto, so you know I do think we're in a crab market. So why not just convert some of your alts to stablecoins and farm with it? Because if it goes sideways, your portfolio will outperform, right? Because you're like protecting yourself to the downside and you're generating yield. And if the market dumps more, then you know you can take those stablecoins, buy the dip, or just keep farming with it. I just think farming is something that everyone should try with like a small percentage of portfolio, and then I guess once you understand farming, you can abandon it or you can just keep doing it. Safest way to yield farm. Safest way to yield farm is just using. It's like the TVL. Like the higher the TVL, high TVL means that the market trusts the yield farm, right? So obviously, like high TVL does not mean like super high yields, but you know, you got to look at like the TVL, I think. And Aave Curve Sushi, I mean, DeFi blue chips, they've been around. I guess like the age of the application as well. A project that's been around for a year is less risky than a project that's been around a week, obviously. Long one. Okay, so I'll summarize this question. This guy has 20K of all these tokens. Put it in the Polycat, I think. And he's asking if he should pull out now and take this hit in fees and go back, or just wait for Arbitrum. Generally, when I enter a farm and I'm unsure on what to do next, I just keep it in there, because even if the APRs are garbage, it's still earning me for yield. And like if I'm unsure like where to go next, like there's no point pulling out, right? Because I think Polycat is a safer yield farm just because of the TVL. But I think it sounds like this guy, he's kind of wary about like Polycat, and he like kind of wants to move it. So I will look for where to go next. And until then, keep it in there. And once you find an opportunity, pull it out and worried about fish price tanking. Yeah, that's always the risk with these yield farms. Because these yield farms, like, they have zero fundamental value, right? As in, they don't provide value in the real world, right? Like Aave, like I mean, Aave is a lending and borrowing protocol. I can see it being like a bank in the future, but yield farms, like, they only exist to generate yield, right? So they're not going to be. Chances are, like 98% of yield farms will just go away. So it's always a risk. How do I deal with taxes? To be honest, I don't know. I'm going to be using token tax, right? And hope that they know what the fuck they're doing. I'll pay like $1,000 to them and like make sure that I'm paying taxes efficiently. I also have a spreadsheet where I keep all of my transactions. I do it manually, and I think it encapsulates like 90 to 95% of my P&L. So yeah, that's like my answer. Taxes it's like complicated, but gotta pay your taxes. How bullish am I on DeFin? Let's look at the chat. Yeah, okay, how bullish am I on DeFin? And instead of answering like, oh, I'm hella bullish, like, I'm just gonna go over like my farmer mentality, right? This is the farmer's mentality. To be honest, I have no idea if DeFin will go up or not, right? But I see potential in it, right? Because cross-chain decentralized exchange, there's value in that. If I can buy something on the Phantom blockchain while being on the Matic ecosystem, that's really good, right? Because it's like, I do think the future is multi-chain, and I think it'll be really good if like, it'll be cool if it works, right? I don't know if it'll work, but as a farmer, I'm literally, being paid to borrow, and using these borrowed funds, I'm providing liquidity and I'm earning it for free. So to be honest, I don't care if it goes to zero, because if it goes to zero, as long as they don't rug me, like I still maintain my capital. But if it goes to the moon, like if it like 10x's, then cool. Like I've been farming this for free anyways. So like whenever I buy things with my own money, like when I bought Bitcoin, ETH, and Link and stuff for the first time, I like did like extensive research. Like, okay, like how does value accrue to this token? Okay, like does it have fundamentals, etc. But if I'm farming, it's like, oh, this looks cool. Oh, I can farm it with stablecoins. Oh, nice. Okay, I'm just gonna put my money in here, let it sit, and let it generate yield for me for free. Because like, I mean, I'm not really doing anything. I mean, I'm not like providing value to DeFin, right? I'm just like farming it. I mean, I guess I'm providing value in the case that I'm talking about it on my channel, but like, I'm not shilling it, right? I'm not saying this thing's gonna go up. I'm just like, it could go up, and if it goes up, awesome. It was free. So it's like a totally different mindset of like, if you buy something, you like this, you hope it goes up. You're like, come on, baby, keep pumping. But if I'm farming something, it's like, okay, like whatever. I don't want to give a shit. Obviously, I give a shit if it goes up, but yeah. Will I be doing farming videos on other chains? Yes, if the opportunities are good. Let's see. So this is just a general question to like, I guess you guys. It's like, right now, like I don't like monetize my channel. I don't have a paid group. I don't think it makes sense to have a yield farming paid group, because let's say I have like, there's 1,000 people in my paid group, and I find a really good farm, and I'm like, guys, like I found this really good farm. It's like 2,000% APR. It has fundamentals, and you can farm it with stablecoins. Then everyone will pile into that farm, and the APR will go down to like 200% or like 50%, and everyone's gonna be mad at me. It's like, yo, like this farm is garbage. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm paying you for this garbage? It's like, dude, when I talked about it, like, what do you guys think about like people that run ads? What do you guys think about people that have paid groups? And like, what do you guys think about like people that have like sponsors? For example, like BitMEX or like BlockFi or stuff. I'm frozen. My God. Okay, I need to figure this shit out because I have pretty good internet, but I guess it's lagging. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm very new at this, so I apologize for the lags. Let's see. I'm just reading the chat. Ads and sponsors are 100% okay. Okay. Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, I don't monetize my channel now, but I do think it's totally fine for YouTubers to monetize because, I mean, they allocate like dozens of hours a week. So, and if people like watching them, then, you know, why not? Like, I'm against like paid shills, right? Like that's kind of scummy, but yeah. I'll read the chat again when I have more time, but that's where I am. Like right now I don't monetize, but I do kind of have to in the future, just being transparent. What's the difference between farming versus trading? This guy asked me, can someone explain why Ethereum is hentai? Like, what the fuck? Okay, anyways, I'm getting distracted. What's the difference of like risk reward in farming versus trading? So I had a good conversation with Hedgehog in my first ever podcast on the channel, where it's like I think the lowest EV thing for traders to do is like to scalp, because like there's high fees and there's like a little edge. And I think the statistic is that like 90 to 95% of people or traders like lose money, right? I mean, it's true. Like I tried trading, like I lost money. Like, so I said, you know what? Like I'm just gonna hodl and farm. The good thing about farming is that if you're farming like a safer farm, like there's like, I mean, there's always risk, right? Smart contract risk, but there's like essentially zero risk. It's really easy to win with farming. I think that's one of the reasons I really like farming, is that like I'm just putting dollars into these like what I consider to be safe farms, and I'm generating yield for free. And Kyle Davies said this in a podcast on Technical Roundup, but the best way to win in crypto is by winning, like learn by winning, because winning feels good. Like I've won by farming, right? I've made money farming, and I really like farming because it's like, oh, cool. Like, you know, like I just like walk my dog outside, I eat nice dinner, and I come back and I have like 2 more tokens that I farmed. So I think being a successful trader will make you more money, right? But it's really hard. But being a successful farmer will earn you less money probably, right? But there's a higher chance of you succeeding. That's the way I think about farming. It's like if you're too degen, then you might get rugged, right? So you always have to do your own research. Like there's no such thing as a free lunch. You can't just ape into a random farm just because it has like big numbers. Like do your own research. But yeah, and this is a mini announcement, but I'm thinking about having the Rug Doctor team on my channel to discuss like how to go over code in farms and how to like monitor risk and what to do when like the developers are acting suspiciously. I think that'll be a really good video, because I'm not technical. Like I don't code. I can't really read code, right? So I think it'll be good to have someone like a professional who like reviews code to have them on the channel. Okay, so convex finance, it's been shilled to me on my timeline. I don't fully understand it. I know it's boosted curve staking, and I get that. But I might make a video on this in the future if it's good. But just an open invitation to anyone to DM me if you have like a bullish case for convex. Like I understand like 70% of it, right? Because like you lock up your curve for 4 years to get more curve rewards, like VE curve and convex. Like you can pull your curve, right? So like more people can get the boost and stuff. But just an open invitation. Please DM me if you understand convex. Yeah. So how do you see Arbitrum attracting TVL given there's no native token? Briefly went over this, but the projects themselves will probably do liquidity mining programs. So with Polygon, like the Polygon team paid you to use these applications, and the applications themselves didn't have to do anything, right? Like Aave and Curve deployed on matic, and like matic just like paid people. But with Arbitrum, the applications will most likely be paying you tokens. So I think that's how it's going to go. Don't know how it's going to play out, but it'll be cool. Okay. So I guess I already kind of answered this question. It's like, I have some alts and like what they do with them. It's like, I guess like the simple, I'm not going to repeat what I said, but like if you have assets that's just sitting in your portfolio, not earning yield, then you should try to earn yield on them. Because every token in crypto, like 95% of tokens in crypto are inflationary, meaning that they print tokens every single day. So if you're not earning yield, you're going to lose out. So ADA, like stake it, right? Stake it on the dataless wallet or whatever it's called. Litecoin, like I think you can earn yield on like some centralized finance platforms. Cake, I know there's, you can farm with that. And ETH, just put it on something, collateralize it, borrow against it, farm with it or something, right? And gains on all of them, like whether you're up or not doesn't matter, right? What matters is like where the token is going to go in the future, right? It's like just because I'm up 100% doesn't mean that I'm going to keep it just because I'm up a lot. It's like if I don't think there's upside, I'm going to sell. So yeah, earn yield on your crypto. That's the alpha, I guess. Yeah, I kind of already answered this question, so I'll skip that. Let's see. Let me look at the chat real quick. Yeah, okay. Anyways, other great yield farmer YouTubers. To be honest, I don't really know that many. I've had Noah Seidman on. He's not like a yield farmer per se. He just likes having dollars and making those dollars go to work. But is there any good yield farmer YouTubers? Like, can you put them in the chat? Because like I would love to like talk to them or to even have them on. I just like don't know them. It's like recently I haven't had that much time to like watch new videos because like I recorded 2 podcasts. I was on Ben's channel. I've been like editing like crazy. Like, so let's see. No one's really saying anything. Okay. So I guess I'll just move on. Oh, okay, there you go. DeFi trader, crypto farmer. I know people on Twitter that's good. I know like Crypto Yield Info. That's a really good farmer. I'll try to have him on the podcast, but maybe this is why like my channel is doing well. There's literally like zero good yield farming content. So if you're thinking about starting a channel, maybe you should cover yield farming. Like 99% of crypto YouTubers do TA, like, or news. Like, do we need more TA YouTubers? I don't think so. That's not to say like you can't make it if you do TA. I mean, if you distinguish yourself in a certain way, then yeah, you can be successful. But if all you're doing is like drawing head and shoulders, like I don't think you'll do that well. DeFi trader, okay, I'll follow him. Let's see, check out Crypto Mischief. Okay. Well, yeah, just keep listing them if there's anyone good. But yeah, I guess like if you're thinking about being a content creator, I think yield farming is a pretty good niche to cover. Yeah, so this is a question that I've gotten a lot. It's like, if everyone can farm matic for like free, like wouldn't there be sell pressure? And this is like another thing where like intuitively it like doesn't make sense, right? Like if everyone is farming matic for free, then like why does matic keep going up? Obviously like matic hasn't done that well recently, but I mean look at this. I'll put on log. Like come on, is anyone complaining? Like if you've been holding matic, like it's hard to be down, right? Especially if you've been farming it. So like why, like if everyone's farming this for free, like why isn't it going down? Well, I guess like yes, you're farming it for free, but like if you think about the market cap of Polygon and compare it to like how much like matic tokens they're giving out, it's not that many, right? Because I think Polygon is like roughly $10 billion, right? $8 to $10 billion protocol, and like they allocated like $100 million to rewards. So it's not that much. It's like 1% of the market cap, and they're giving it away. And I argue that like these rewards are like marketing. It's like a marketing budget, right? Like I mean, Polygon is allocating 1% of their supply to spend on marketing, and it works. I mean, it worked, right? Like I'm using matic. I'm talking about it. I have a YouTube channel talking about it, and I'm sure a lot of people also use matic. So in that sense, like it's a marketing spend. that accrued a lot of value, got a lot of users. So that's what I think about it. Like, yeah, value accrues through the token. A few more questions and I'll look at the chat for questions. One-on-one course. Okay, so also like I've also had like emails about like Taiki, I'll pay you to give me a course, or like one-on-one coaching. It's like, it feels weird. It's like would this be something interesting? Like, to be honest, I can't do this for free because like, so I feel like it's not something I will pursue. Like, I think I'd rather do these live streams once a week and like answer questions. I think that's more valuable to everyone because like, I'm not charging anything for these live streams. I don't have like donations on or anything, and I can answer. Like, instead of like doing one-on-one and like share alpha that way, I'd rather share alpha in like a public live stream that'll reach like thousands of people. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. 2 more questions. Okay, so if anyone's been looking at the yields recently, it's been going down, right? So for example, like, I mean, one of the reasons is that like, I mean, if you were watching my channel earlier, you see that like, I feel like 3 weeks ago, like I was being paid 16% borrowing Tether, and now it's cut in half, right? It's at 8%. One of the reasons is that like there's just so many more people like piling into these rewards, so you know it gets diluted. Second of all, I think more people, there's less demand to leverage because I mean the markets are bearish, and when the markets are bearish or sideways, I think a lot of people, I mean, in that environment, it means that people are not buying. I mean, then they might not be selling either, but they're not buying, right? They're not buying new tokens with dollars. So what they're doing is they're minting stablecoins, they're putting it into yield opportunities, and it gets diluted. So that's what I fear most in a bear market is like everyone's going to be trying to farm with stablecoins, so the stablecoin yields might get really bad. But I mean, I guess the goal of a yield farmer is to like identify the best yields and be nimble. So I think for me, in a bull market, when the market is risk on, I'll take on more risk because I think there's more to gain. That is what I did with the DGen yield farms in May when I farmed 10,000 matic, just like DGen yield farming. If we're bearish or sideways, I'll be risk off and farm with stablecoins for safer farms. So Aave Curve Sushi, and then like I'm doing DFIN. Maybe there's something new that comes up that have like, you know, 200% APR, which isn't crazy, but it's still like really, really good. Last question, and then I'll answer, then I'll open up the questions to the audience. Reflexivity of yields. So this is really important because I guess like I'll just go over like reflexivity in DeFi in general, because a lot of these DeFi applications, a lot of people talk about like, look at the TVL. Like this thing has $1 billion of TVL, total value locked, which means this token has to go up, right? And that's like the propaganda that's all over crypto Twitter. That's like used a lot by like, I don't know, like less sophisticated people. I mean, I used to think that too. It's like, holy shit, like this thing has $1 billion, like it has to go up. But if you think about it, total value locked doesn't really mean that the token price goes up, because if the protocol keeps minting tokens and like there's no fees that the token like generates, or there's no value accrual, then like everyone is gonna just like farm and dump the token. And also the TVL is also reflexive, because let's say like Bitcoin dumps 30%, Ethereum dumps 50%, alts go down 70% or like whatever, right? Then the TVL gets cut in like half, right? Because whatever is in that protocol, they're like volatile altcoins, and if that gets cut in half, then like the TVL is less valuable, or it's just the number gets cut, and then everyone's like, oh my god, this thing has less TVL, I'm gonna sell my token, and then it's like this downward spiral. It also, I mean, it's great on the upside, because like if these applications have like a lot of ETH locked and ETH goes up, then everyone's like celebrating, but if it goes down, then like everyone's depressed. So it's like the reflexivity of crypto is like really dangerous. So if you're on Twitter and everyone's like, I don't know, jacking off to like these crazy TVLs, like be careful, because if the market enters a downturn, then these TVLs will mean nothing, and it'll people will be like suddenly bearish and stuff. But anyways, it's 3:20. Okay, we've been live for like 15 minutes. Pretty good. I hope the audio issue wasn't too bad. And I guess so yeah, feel free to ask me questions. I'll look at the chat and answer whatever I can. But while you guys think of your questions, I just want to go over, like, yesterday it was announced that El Salvador was going to pass legislation to make Bitcoin legal tender. And pretty big news, right? Because Bitcoin, like, it was first adopted by like drug dealers, and now it's like adopted by everyone all around the world. So if you think about like other countries adopting Bitcoin, it'll be adopted by these like less wealthy, like third world countries that have less to lose. So if you want to learn more about like what this actually means, follow Caitlin Long and look at this thread. Okay, that being said, let me look at the chat. I'll probably spend 10 to 15 minutes asking questions or answering questions. I guess depending on the quality of the questions, don't ask me like, what do you think about this form? Because if it's like some like random degen form, because like I've been too busy creating content, so haven't really done that much research. But more, yeah, like don't ask me this. Like don't show your favorite project is like what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's see. Is there a way to find when new coins are listed on Polygon? You can go to CoinGecko. There's a Polygon tab, coingecko.com. You can do that, or you can go to, let's see, this site, fifat.tools. It kind of looks at all the, I guess, the farms, and you can kind of see like the ones down here are newer. And if you click on like various, and then like it'll, okay, there's an error, but like it'll show you like the yield opportunities. So that's a good way. Let's see. Podcast is on my channel. I have two. Let me move this here. What is my biggest regret so far as a farmer? It's a good question. I think my biggest regret was leaving Polycat, because I was in Polycat late April, right? So, and Polycat, the fish token is still like, I don't even know, I think it was like $30 last time I checked. So if you think about it, I could have just stayed in Polycat and I would have made like a lot more money than I would have been able to farm more than like what I basically I would like have more money, just because like it's really hard to find like really good farms. And it pains me that I was in Polycat like really early when they had like 10 million TVL or like 5 million, and I just like left it because I just like wasn't bullish for some reason. I forget why. I think there was a new and shiny farm, and I just like aped into that one. But I think it's good to just like, yeah, I think I said this earlier, but if you see a new farm and you want to know like how good it might be, I would compare the tokenomics, the Twitter page, the Telegram, and the Medium page for that new farm and compare it to Polycat and Polywhale, because those two projects have been successful, and anyone that can like, I guess any farm that can like be as good as that will be good. Yeah. And, oh yeah, also like follow me on Twitter. I only have 4,300 followers. You know, I have some inspirational quotes. You know, like to most people, it's dirt. To the farmer, it's potential, right? Like I got some good quotes. You know, I'll try to be more. I'll try to be more active on Twitter. But you know, I got some good memes as well. Like look at that. Like I'm farming with some Pepe frogs. You know, it's pretty good stuff. Oh God. Too many questions. Sorry if I skip yours. It's I mean, most of the questions are like trying to make me shill things. I'm not gonna shill things. Sorry, I'm going over the questions. Any thoughts on Iron Finance? It has 400 million locked. See, I don't even know this stuff. It's like I said, like I've just been like pumping content, and that's been my focus. So I've just been putting my dollars into safer farms. Definitely like not the best in terms of gains, but you know, I'm just like prioritizing the channel right now, just because like it's gone, like there's so much momentum. So I suggest you join my Discord, because my Discord is very, very active. It has over 500 members, majority of them being farmers. And I have a Polygon matic channel server, and like that, I mean, that channel is like popping. I mean, people are just like aping in, and like I think people got rugged recently because of polyweed. That's why I wanted to invite Rug Doctor on to talk about polyweed. So you know, if you get rugged, you can share the pain with other farmers, and you can discuss like, oh, what are the merits of this farm and that farm? Is anyone in this farm? If so, like, is it good? Like, you can ask these questions. It's gone so big to the point where like it's hard for me to monitor, and I kind of fear the potential of like bots being in my Discord and like shilling their projects. It's like that's always a fear, but hopefully, but yeah, like, but I got some moderators. They're gonna ban people. They're gonna kick people if they're annoying or if they're spamming. So I think join my Discord if you're like, if you want to stay up to date with the forums. In your videos, you've stated that, you know, I'm probably gonna get rugged at some point, right? Wouldn't that be game over because I'm like all in one project? Yes, but I would not go all in on a project if I think it even has a chance of getting rugged. Like I don't mind going deep into Aave or Defen, because I mean, according to my research, I don't think they're gonna rug, right? I just don't think they're gonna rug. I think they're a legit project with fundamentals, and I think they're gonna keep building. So if I'm entering a degen yield form, I'm not gonna go all in, because if I get rugged, I just lose my entire capital, and that's not good. So that's the way I think about it. Link to Discord, it's in my video description, I believe, but I'll just send it in the chat actually. One sec. How do I do this? Oh god, I'm so bad at... What? How do I invite people? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think it's in the description as well, so yeah. Finance over 40? Okay, I'll check them out. Okay, cool, we hit the hour point. Hopefully this live stream has been helpful. Yeah, do you guys like this format where it's like first, I don't even know how much time I spent the first like 15-20 minutes, where I just like talk about a particular topic that interests me, and then I open it up the floor to questions. Is that good? Or would you rather me like, I mean, I don't really know how else to structure it, because like I'm not like doing TA. Like if I'm doing TA, I can just like keep looking at charts and like take chart requests, but you know, for farmers, it's like, you know, what's going on? I'll just answer some questions. What would be the DEX of Arbitrum? Well, we know Uniswap and SushiSwap is going to be on there, so I'd assume 80%, or like over half the volume, to be on those applications. Let's see. Okay, so what is your ideal health factor? Let's see. Let me make sure the stream is okay. So obviously there's no one answer to answer, like there's no like one answer fits all, I guess, but like there's no single answer I can give that applies to everyone, just because like it matters what your collateral is, right? Because for me, my collateral is like 2/3 is in dollars, and I don't even, like what, like 10, 15%? Wait, does it say here? 20% is in Bitcoin, right? So over 85% of my collateral is in dollars in Bitcoin, which is more stable, right? So that means I can be more aggressive in terms of my health factor. But if you're like majority like Matic or something, I mean, Matic literally, what did Matic do? Like this dump, it went from, it dipped over 70%, okay? So you have to be open to the idea that, okay, like Matic is a good token, but it can dump 70% when Bitcoin just dumps, okay? So like always factor this into your equation. I was luckily I was not liquidated when this thing happened, when like, what is this, like May 19th, or like, yeah, like May 25th or something. When did this happen? Yeah, like May 23rd. Like I was luckily not liquidated, but you know, you have to be open to the possibility that you might get liquidated if like you're too aggressive. So right now I'm comfortable with like 1.4, 1.5, just because like I'm borrowing dollars with dollars in Bitcoin as collateral. So, I mean, I think, let's see. So I'm borrowing 17K and my stablecoin stack is at 21.5K. So like Bitcoin and Matic would have to dip like 80 to 90% overnight for me to get liquidated, which, I mean, if it happens, then like I deserve to be liquidated because the entire market is like going to zero. But you know, let's see. Okay, good format, nice. Will gas fees come down with Arbitrum? It's gonna be like $1 to $5 in that range. Yield farm for newbies. I talked about this in the first 3 minutes, but I'm making this free guide to yield farming. I'll release this to the public tomorrow or Tuesday. I need to make some changes, but you know, help the community. Free guides, right? I mean, no more. There's a lot of paywalls everywhere, but oh, whoops, this is a question. That'll be a good one. Let's see. How do I feel about Tether? I feel like Tether has been de-risked a lot. First, they were listed on Coinbase, and Coinbase is a public company, and Coinbase, I mean, they're like very careful when it comes to like dealing with the regulators, and I don't think they would list Tether if they thought it was like some scam or some risky thing, right? Tether has also started to like do like these transparency reports. I don't know how often, maybe like once a month. So I think in that sense, it's also been de-risked. So I don't really feel, I don't feel like, I'm not scared about Tether per se. And if you want like proof that like these stable coins can like maintain its peg, it's like, remember when like, right, like this nuke, like this entire nuke, right, with Bitcoin and the entire market, like Tether, DAI, USDC, they all kept their peg. So even if the markets are just completely like being nuked, like these stablecoins have kept their peg. And if that doesn't instill a sense of confidence, like I don't know what will. Like I don't know what you want me to say. So that's the way I think about it. Yeah, free guide Monday or Tuesday. Okay, I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream in like 5 minutes. Answer some final questions. Yeah, a lot of people like ask me like, why are you using Aave when you can earn more using Curve? And that's a valid question. But I think it's just like good for newer participants to just use Aave and Curve like together, right? Deposit dollars into Aave, borrow against it, put it into Curve, because it might not generate the most APY or yield, but I think everyone should just like have practice using these applications, because like if you're farming, I mean, hopefully you're planning to be in the markets for the next year, next 2 years, 5 years. And I guess like the knowledge you'll gain by just using these applications will be a lot more, like you'll gain a lot more through like using them than just like by not using them, right? Because through using Aave, I understand how lending and borrowing works. And like, I know how to farm now. And in the future, if I know how to farm, I can like, I guess if there's like a new farm, right? I can like look at it and be like, okay, like this looks similar to this. I like the tokenomics here. And it'll just like help you in the future to like how to, I guess, audit these farms like by yourself. Because if you're always asking like Discord and like the Rug Doctor and like other people about like farms, then like ideally like you can like farm for yourself, right? Because I used to be a noob as well. I mean, I got into farming in April. I'm not like, I haven't been farming for a year, right? I'm still newer participant to DeFi. I started studying DeFi at the beginning of the year, like January. I didn't know jack shit before January, but I spent a lot of time like being curious, studied it, and now I'm like helping people like earn passive income and stuff. So yeah, I think just learning about DeFi is very, very valuable, and you'll make a lot more money understanding DeFi than like chasing like 10% APR over like 8% APR or whatever. See. Yeah, this guy is spamming. What are your top 10 coins that you would invest in that has 10x potential? Like, I'm not gonna discuss like, cause yeah, I'm not gonna talk. Like, don't ask me like, what's the next 100x, 20x, 10x? Cause I don't know. I'm a farmer. You know, I'm a simple farmer. Like, look at this. This is my expertise. Okay. Like crops, you know, like nutrients, you know, mitochondria, like this is my expertise, okay? I mean, I do have ideas, I do have opinions, but I don't want this channel to become like some random show fest. Yeah, man should go find him himself. Okay, one last question. So ask me a good one, because I'm only gonna answer a good one. I'm not gonna answer the like any question that's like show my favorite coin. I don't farm on BSC, so I can't answer it. The reason I went hard on Matic is because I feel like I missed out on BSC. God, these guys. Yeah, I'm glad I did the whole. I'm glad I sourced all these questions. Holy shit, it went up. Maybe I'll ask one from here. Let's see. Okay, this is a good question. This is a good question. Okay, favorite plant to farm. Yeah, I'll wrap the stream with that question. So obviously, like, my farm has been doing really well recently. I got some organic fertilizer. You know, I don't use pesticides on my farm. And you know, my tractor, you know, I got a pretty new one last month, and you know, it's really good. You know, the engine works and stuff. And recently, I've been farming some cabbage. You know, cabbage. I really like cabbage. I think it's a really underrated vegetable, really underrated plant. You can put it into soup. You can put it into salad. You can like stir fry it with meat. I think cabbage is severely undervalued. And if you want your next 10x coin, like, buy the cabbage token. I think cabbage has some real moon potential. If anything, top 10, that's my answer for the top 10 coin with 10x potential. I say cabbage. I think cabbage has real potential. I think it has lots of fundamental value, right? It can be used in many things. It's good for you. Like broccoli too. Broccoli is good. Onions. And is it good for the environment? I don't know. I should know that as a farmer. I like red cabbage. Red cabbage is good. Red cabbage is really good. Really like red cabbage. Yeah, just aped into cabbage. Okay. Is there actually a cabbage token? If there's a cabbage token, I'm sorry. I am not endorsing cabbage token. I am not endorsing cabbage token. Anyways, yeah, I'll wrap the stream there. Thank you guys for watching. Follow me on Twitter because if you want your questions answered, I'm going to be posting these Google Docs or Google Forms where you can answer these questions. Check out my video with Ben. Very proud. Poured my heart out for this video. Thank you guys for 30K subscribers. Let me see how many subs I gained. 100 subs. Thank you guys. And what else? Oh yeah, this yield farm document, like free guide to yield farming. I'll release this Monday or Tuesday. I need to add some more things, but got some good memes. I think it's a good one. Thank you guys. Please don't make a cabbage token. I don't want the SEC to come after me. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day, and I'll see you soon. How do I end the stream? Okay, there you go.